everyone. Sorry I've been quiet this week. I moved last week and wow, moving is hard when you have fibromyalgia. I think moving is hard in general, but man, did I push my body to some extreme pain. So I'm going to talk about that today, just my experience and how I got through it. But first of all, I want to make a big shout out to Southern Rose Tia D. She is a wonderful follower of mine. We interact a lot in my comments. She's just so great. And we were talking about Copaiba a couple of weeks or months ago. I have no concept of time. And she had said that she makes a really wonderful soothing balm for pain using Copaiba. And so at the end of January, she produced a video. It's up on her channel. I don't know how to link things yet, but I'll link it below. You can go check it out. She's a fellow Fibro fighter. Check it out. She's a lovely, lovely human being. And she has such a soothing voice. I just want her to read bedtime stories to me. Which sounds weird, but I don't know if it's the singer in me or what, but when I hear someone with a really soothing, lovely voice, I just melt into it. I just love it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will already know a lot about my moving story, but let me start. Coming up, it'll be my 14th year in Toronto this November, which is crazy. When I first moved to Toronto, I moved in just into like a single bedroom in a house. So I didn't have a lot of furniture and stuff. That's how I started my first 3 years in Toronto. Then a friend was looking to move into a 2-bedroom and I was looking to get out of my situation and I moved into this 2-bedroom with that friend. She ended up getting engaged the week we moved in together and they had a very short engagement, 3 months, and I was looking for a new roommate. So I have lived with a roommate or with other people basically my whole life. Very few times have I actually lived by myself. It only ever lasted a couple of months, but it's been something that I've really wanted for a very long time. It's impossible to do that in Toronto. Toronto is a very, very expensive city. I have to keep a lot of things in mind when I'm moving, and I'm sure you'll understand that. When you have something like fibromyalgia, there's a lot of things that you're thinking about. Do you have ensuite laundry, or is laundry at the very least in the building? Do you have a gym accessible to you so that you can move your body and work out? Do you have to walk a long time to get to transit, or is transit close by? How close are groceries? These are things you have to think about when you have a chronic illness like we do that affects everything that we do. There are some days when I desperately need groceries, but I barely have the strength to get out of bed. Paying for a grocery delivery is not always an option when you live paycheck to paycheck as I do. So you have to think about these things. I love the building that I live in. The 2-bedroom that I lived in was phenomenal. Absolutely loved that 2-bedroom. What I didn't love was living with a roommate. Now, I had 10 years there. 10 years Jav and I lived there. And, roommates came and went, and it was fine for the most part. I'm not necessarily the best roommate, and I had some people who weren't necessarily the best roommates, but we made it through. At the end of October, I think it was, my roommate moved out. And with COVID going on, it just was impossible to find a roommate. I searched, looked, I was on all of the roommate boards, couldn't find someone. And as some of you guys know, I've lost one of my jobs. It's waiting for me when the theaters can open again, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck on my teaching right now. I don't have a ton of income, but I decided that I could spend a certain amount on a single place if I could find something good within my price range. And I started searching. Before Christmas, I started searching. I did go to see one place. It was sadly disappointing. I don't know about you guys, but new buildings, for the most part in Toronto, are just terrible. They don't come with a locker. They're not necessarily in the best locations. If you're looking for a 1-bedroom as opposed to a bachelor, it's almost the exact same space. It's just they've put up a wall to call it a 1-bedroom. They're not great. A lot of them are under 400 square feet from what I could see. I was even looking into basement apartments, and some of these basement apartments were charging $1,500, didn't have laundry on site, and didn't even have a stove. They would have a hot plate or like a tiny beer fridge. And I was just like, are you serious right now? What is this? I didn't think I'd be moving anytime soon. I was paying way too much in rent because I was having to cover rent for 2 people. Now in my 2-bedroom, I was living alone, but I couldn't do that for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't do that for months on end. And yeah, the government's helping us out a little bit, and my dad was willing to help, which bless his heart. But I wanted to do this on my own. I was really, really struggling and trying. And The other thing is I really love my building. It's a great location for both of my jobs. There's a grocery store literally on my same block. Transit is also on my same block. Everything that I need is really, really close by. I can easily get to hiking trails. I can get to beautiful parks, just so simple. Now I kind of look out into cement, but I can get out of the cement very quickly, which is nice. We have a running track, we have a gym, we have a pool. We have laundry in the building. It's a great location for me. Miracle upon miracles, they lowered the rent of 1-bedrooms in my current building to a place where I could afford it. And I ran downstairs to the office and it was just like, can I move? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. Y'all, I jumped at the chance and started packing, and thankfully I had 2 really great friends help. Boyfriend really wanted to help, but for certain reasons that I'm not gonna get into, I didn't want to stress him out with helping. He kept offering, but he has a lot going on and I didn't want to put that on him. My friend Grace helped me out a lot, and then my friend Patricia, who's one of my hiking buddies, she came over, she had the brains and the brawn, and she just took over and we moved all the stuff. It was a hard week though. It was a really hard week. I'm very thankful in that I was able to get the keys to my 1-bedroom on the Monday, and then I wasn't moving until Saturday. So I moved within the same building, but I did move to the other side. So now I'm facing north and I actually have a view, which I'll show you guys. Probably not today, but next week maybe. Again, if you watch my Instagram, you'll see it. So I'm really happy. I'm a lot higher up and I'm not facing another building like it was in the 2-bedroom. I have a lot of books, and moving books is hard. They're very heavy. My old roommate had left me her dolly, thankfully. So I was able to pack up a lot of stuff and put it in the 2nd bedroom and still kind of live and do my thing. It was incredibly difficult. Now, how do you get through moving? Pay someone else to do it. If you can afford it, pay someone else to do it. Like, I'm not even kidding. Pay someone else to pack, pay someone else to move. Just get it done. But also, I think something that helped me out a lot was I had a vision in my mind of where everything was gonna go. I was buying a couple of new things. I was splurging on a new bed. I've lived on a single bed my entire life, and I was like, forget this, I'm getting a queen. Being able to get my keys early was super helpful for me. So I was able to use the dolly to haul things up. On the Tuesday, I came up and I put my bed together. So that was all done. But you guys, I was in so much pain. I cannot remember when I have been in this much pain. My body was just, I could barely stand. I mean, I was hauling things on the dolly, yeah, but my legs were taking a massive beating. I could barely get off the couch. I could barely stand. By the end of the day, I was in so much pain. I was drinking 2 of my pre-workout shakes a day, just trying to get the energy. I was still teaching, I was still working. It was really, really challenging. I wasn't sleeping that well because I was stressed out and I was concerned, I was worried. I was worried about Java, how she was gonna handle it all. I mean, I guess moving in general did go well, yes, we had a plan, but the things that got me through were I had baths to relax my legs. I drank my Energize twice a day, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but is what I did. And then when my pain got to such an unbearable place, I went, you know what? Like, it gets to the point where painkillers don't help. You know what I'm saying? When it gets to that place, I have to stretch out my body. And it was so hard to do that. When you are in that much pain, it is the last thing you want to do is get up and stretch your body out. But I did it. I knew I really needed to attack the arch, specifically in my left foot. And you guys, I almost cried. It was so painful. I felt 10 times better after I stretched. I slept better that night. My legs weren't in too much pain. Was able to sleep. So I know a lot of fitness experts will say, hey, don't stretch to hurt yourself. Like, you shouldn't feel pain when you stretch. We're going to. I think you get to a point where you understand how far you can push yourself in that stretch. I've definitely overstretched, and that's another problem. But in this instance, I needed to stretch into that pain. I needed to feel the pain, and it intensified, and it was brutal. But afterwards, I felt so much more release. I think that was the number one thing that shifted for me that week, was that I was able to move forward after I stretched. And so sometimes, maybe if you're having a really bad pain day, see if you can do a few light stretches. Maybe don't be as intense about it as I am, but see if you can stretch out a little bit or get on a foam roller. It might help. Just a suggestion. It's the last thing you're going to want to do because it will hurt more, but hopefully afterwards you will feel better. Now keep in mind, I'm not a doctor. This is just a suggestion that I've used to help me out. It is the number one thing that helped me. And then I had a plan. I knew where everything was going to go. And I was able to get up here and unpack a lot of stuff so that when we finally moved all of my big furniture up here. My kitchen was almost completely complete. My bedroom was almost completely complete. I'd unpacked all of my clothes and all of that stuff, and I just had to deal with the living room for the most part. I still have some boxes left. I will do a tour when I'm done. I mean, it's not that exciting probably for you guys, but it's exciting for me. That's my moving story. Jav is doing okay with it. Some of you guys have asked, and I really appreciate that. She's doing okay. Sometimes she escapes the door and she runs down to where our old apartment would have been, which breaks my heart a little bit, but she's doing okay. The one thing that's so adorable is my new bed is quite high, and I had to buy her cat stairs in order to get up and off of it because she's old, she's 15, and I think her back legs are arthritic, but she totally uses it, and I love that. I love it. It's so cute seeing her come up and down. That's my moving story. That's why I've been quiet. I'm so sorry that this is coming late. That's my adventure this week. Was moving. All right, I'll be back to normal content moving forward. If you have any specific questions about myself, my journey, and me in general, Java, anything, drop them below. I'm an open book. Let me know. And I hope you guys make it a great day. I'll talk to you soon.